When I first started looking into this, I was so lost. Honestly, like, where do you even start?
Yeah, it can definitely feel like you're entering a whole new world without a map or anything, which is exactly why we're diving into this workshop and workbook by Joseline.biz. She's a marketing strategist who's found a way to actually make AI work for your brand. And trust me, her approach is super practical.
She cuts right through the hype and gives you the tools to actually use this stuff, which I really appreciate.
Excellent.
No crazy technical jargon, just clear strategies and prompts you can use right away.
Yeah, she starts with like a little cheat sheet of terms in her workbook.
Nice.
You know, defining things like input and output, which might seem basic,
Yeah.
but it reminded me of like when you're setting up a new phone or something.
Right.
You need that quick start guide before you even know what buttons to press.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's about getting on the same page as the AI, establishing that shared vocabulary so you can actually communicate effectively. It's like learning the alphabet before you try to write a novel. Right?
Totally. At least for me, I'm not a tech person. Where it starts to get really cool is this idea of prompt engineering.
Yes.
Basically, how do you write those inputs to get the best possible results from, like ChatGPT?
And what's really interesting about that is it highlights something really important about AI.
Yeah.
Even though it's super powerful, it's still just a tool. It responds to the instructions we give it. Think of it like if you delegate a task to a human assistant,
Right.
the clearer and more specific your instructions are, the better the outcome.
It makes a huge difference because AI can feel really intimidating, like this black box you don't understand.
Right.
But if you can control it, it makes it much less scary.
That's what's so great about her approach.
Yeah.
She takes these complicated ideas and turns them into frameworks that anyone can understand. It doesn't matter what your technical background is.
Oh, I love that. What are the keys to having a good relationship with AI?
Joseline, she breaks it down into some really like usable tips.
Okay.
Like be specific, right?
Yeah.
Don't just like expect it to read your mind. You have to give it context. Like fill in the blanks so it gets the bigger picture of what you are trying to do.
So it's like instead of saying, make me a sandwich,
Right.
you say, I want turkey on rye bread with mustard. Or
Yeah, exactly. Like one of them leaves way too much room for interpretation,
Yeah.
and the other one is going to get you exactly what you want.
And you won't end up with like a peanut butter and pickle sandwich.
Exactly.
Which, knowing my cooking skills, could happen.
Right.
But one thing I really like is that with AI, it's okay to iterate. You don't have to get that perfect prompt on the first try, right?
Exactly.
You can experiment and refine and kind of guide it to get those really good results.
Exactly. It's a process. It's collaborative in a way. I always think of it like AI is like this high-performance race car. It has all this potential, but it really needs a skilled driver to navigate all the turns and everything to get to that like full potential.
I like that analogy. So we're learning to be AI whisperers. We are guiding these powerful tools to build amazing things for our brand. And speaking of brands, Joseline goes really in depth on all those core elements we hear about. Mission, vision, values, the visual stuff, tone of voice, all that good stuff, which honestly can feel kind of overwhelming to like actually define for yourself.
It's the foundation of your brand identity. And what I thought was really insightful about Joseline's approach with how much she emphasizes alignment. It's not just about like having these elements. It's about making sure that they all work together. So like your content should reflect your values. The visual should embody your brand's personality. All of that. That consistency is what builds a really strong, recognizable brand.
And that's where I feel like AI could be a total game changer, right? Imagine being able to test out different brand voices or like get instant feedback on a logo you're designing. I mean, that would have taken forever in the past, you know, relying on focus groups and like expensive consultants.
Exactly.
But now we can do it so fast.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we are talking about building our brand, getting our message out there, but then there's the whole actually getting it out there part.
Right.
The content strategy. And of course, Joseline has a 6-step system for that.
Of course she does.
And it's all powered by AI.
What I appreciate about it, though, is that it's not just about creating content for the sake of creating content.
Oh.
It's about being really intentional
Yeah.
and making sure that it's aligned with everything else. It resonates with your audience, and it's actually going to help you reach your goals.
Because what's the point of having like a perfectly written social media post if it's talking to the wrong people? Or it's addressing the wrong problem. It's like, I don't know, throwing a party and forgetting to invite anyone.
Exactly.
You've got all the snacks, but nobody's there to eat them.
It's about being strategic.
Yeah.
And that's where she's really great. She walks you through every step of it, like understanding your audience, what you should be talking about.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because this is where I struggle. It's like coming up with new content ideas all the time. It's how do people do that?
Well, the good news is AI can help you with that too.
Okay.
She gives you all these specific prompts you can use to get those creative juices flowing.
Okay, good.
One of them is, based on the frustrations, the desires, and the fears of my target audience, suggest 5 content pillars that speak to those things.
Okay, so you are tapping into the AI's like knowledge base and you are asking it to analyze your audience. Okay, I can do that. But how do you actually make those content pillars into, like actual content? What goes in the Instagram post? What goes in the blog article or whatever?
Well, that's where the AI content generation comes in.
Okay.
And again, it all starts with a good prompt. So she suggests something like, act as a content strategist. Consider that I. And then you describe what you do.
Okay.
My brand focuses on it. And then you put in your target audience with the mission of, your mission statement.
Okay.
Vision.
Yeah.
Your vision.
Yeah.
And values. And you list those too.
You're like feeding it your whole brand DNA and then you were saying go.
Exactly. You are giving it everything it needs so it can generate these ideas
That makes sense.
that are creative and engaging and also completely aligned with everything you were doing.
So we've got our content pillars, we've got our prompts. I'm assuming it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing though, right? We still have to be involved and tweak the output from the AI.
Absolutely. It's a tool. It's a really powerful tool.
Right.
But ultimately, we're the ones who are calling the shots.
Okay.
We are making the decisions and making sure that it is matching our vision.
It's like having like a superpowered intern.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of the work, but they still need some guidance and feedback to get those really exceptional results.
And this is where I think her emphasis on action and repeat comes in.
Okay.
It's about being willing to try things, to test different approaches, see how they work, and make mistakes.
Okay.
And just constantly be learning and refining as you go.
So don't be afraid to experiment, to course correct if something isn't working. It's all part of the process, I guess.
It is. And remember, even with these tools, the most important part of a successful brand is still you.
Right.
It's your unique perspective, your experience, your voice.
That's what makes you stand out.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're embracing the power of AI, but we're still bringing ourselves to the table.
Absolutely.
It's a combination of those two.
It is.
One of the biggest challenges people have with AI content creation is writer's block.
Yeah.
Because even with all the prompts and tools, sometimes you just sit down and your brain is blank.
Well, she actually has some good tips in here about overcoming that.
Good, because I need those.
One of the most effective things, I think, is something she calls prompt stacking. So it's basically breaking down a larger task into smaller, more manageable prompts.
Okay.
So instead of trying to get the AI to write a whole blog post in one go,
Right.
you could start with something like, create a list of 10 catchy titles related to, and then you put in your topic. Once you have all those titles, then you can use them as starting points for other content. You could even like plug a title back into ChatGPT and be like, okay, now using this title, create an outline for a blog post that has this kind of tone and is aimed at this audience.
It's like a choose your own adventure for content creation.
That's a great way to put it.
And you're not giving up all the control either.
Exactly.
So you've got your content pillars, you've used this prompt stacking thing, which I'm going to try. You feel good about your strategy. What's next? How do we make sure we're using AI ethically and responsibly?
That's a really important question, and it's something that Joseline actually talks about.
Okay. Yeah.
It's basically about being mindful of how we use these tools and making sure that it aligns with our values. One thing she talks about is don't just blindly trust whatever the AI gives you.
Yeah, okay.
It's easy to fall into that trap of like, the AI wrote it, so it's got to be good.
Right.
But as smart as AI is, it doesn't always get things right.
Yep.
It can reflect biases, it can misunderstand what you're trying to say, and it's definitely not going to like replicate human experience.
So it's like any other tool, right? You still need to be thoughtful and like use your own expertise.
100%. And that's especially important when we're talking about personal branding, right?
Right, yeah.
This is your brand, it's your values, it's your perspective. AI can be an amazing tool,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't replace the human element that makes it authentic and relatable. And that human touch is going to make your brand stand out.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance, using technology, but staying true to yourself.
And Joseline actually has some prompts in here for that, which is cool.
She does.
Like injecting your personality into the AI content.
It makes you think about who you are and how you want people to see you.
Exactly. So AI can help find the right words,
Yes.
but you are the one that makes them really resonate with people.
You are the magic ingredient.
I like it. So don't be afraid to try things, to experiment with AI,
Please do.
but always remember to bring yourself to the table too.
Absolutely. And that's what's so exciting right now.
Yeah.
It's this combination of human creativity and what AI can do.
It's a powerful combination.
It's amazing.
So it sounds like even if you aren't a tech person, you can use these AI tools.
Definitely. You just have to be open to learning.
And
Be creative. Exactly.
so it's an exciting time to be a creator. We have all these amazing tools now.
The possibilities are endless, really.
I love it. Well, that is about all the time we have for this deep dive. And until next time, happy creating.